Stunning news is shaking Edmonton right now. A player the Oilers traded for only a few months ago has suddenly landed a massive new contract worth more than $20.5 million. The move happened fast. The message is clear, and it could reveal exactly what Edmonton is planning for its future. But one part of the story is getting even more attention as new details continue to emerge. Connor Murphy is once again at the center of NHL headlines. The veteran defenseman has officially signed a new contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers, and the deal is one of the biggest stories around the league. The agreement is worth $20.5 million over 5 years and keeps Murphy in Edmonton for the long term. The contract announcement came only a few months after Murphy joined the Oilers. That timing is one reason this story has attracted so much attention. Edmonton did not spend years evaluating Murphy before making this decision. Instead, the organization moved quickly after seeing him play in an Oilers uniform. To understand why this deal matters, it helps to look at Murphy's career. He was selected 20th overall in the 2011 NHL draft. Over the years, he played for the Arizona Coyotes and later the Chicago Blackhawks. Throughout his career, Murphy built a reputation as a defense-first player. Unlike offensive defensemen who produce large point totals, Murphy is known for different strengths. He blocks shots, plays physical hockey, and helps kill penalties. Coaches have trusted him in difficult defensive situations for many years. Those qualities helped him stay valuable throughout his NHL career. During the 2025 to 2026 season, Murphy started the year with the Chicago Blackhawks. He appeared in 58 games and recorded 4 goals and 13 assists. That gave him 17 points before the trade deadline arrived. His steady play continued to make him an attractive option for teams looking for defensive help. As the trade deadline approached, Edmonton was focused on improving its roster. The Oilers wanted more experience on the blue line as they prepared for another push toward the Stanley Cup. On March 7, 2026, they completed a trade with Chicago and brought Murphy to Edmonton. But the Oilers had already started forming a clear opinion. What happened next showed just how strongly Edmonton believed Murphy could help its future plans. As the offseason moved forward, the Edmonton Oilers made their decision. The organization officially signed Connor Murphy to a 5-year contract extension worth $20.5 million. The agreement carries an average annual value of $4.1 million and keeps Murphy under contract for several more seasons. The announcement immediately became one of the biggest Oilers stories of the week. Only a few months had passed since Murphy arrived from Chicago. Now Edmonton was committing 5 years to the veteran defenseman. That quick decision sent a strong message about how the organization views his role. The contract was not simply about rewarding Murphy for a few months of work. It also reflected Edmonton's long-term plans. The Oilers are trying to build a roster capable of competing for the Stanley Cup. Every major move is being made with that goal in mind. General Manager Stan Bowman explained why the team moved forward with the extension. After the contract became official, Bowman said, "Connor is an important part of our blue line." Those words provided a clear picture of how Edmonton views Murphy's place within the organization. Murphy's experience is one reason the Oilers value him so highly. He has spent many years playing against top NHL talent. He understands defensive responsibilities and has experience in high-pressure situations. Those qualities are difficult to replace and often become more important during playoff hockey. The contract also gives Edmonton stability on defense. Teams that expect to compete for championships often rely on experienced players who can handle difficult assignments. Murphy's role may not always appear on highlight reels, but his responsibilities remain important every game. The timing of the extension attracted attention throughout the hockey world. Murphy was acquired at the trade deadline on March 7. Less than 4 months later, Edmonton completed a deal worth $20.5 million. That sequence of events showed that the organization did not need years to make its decision. For Murphy, the agreement represents another major moment in a long NHL career. He entered the league as a first-round draft pick in 2011. Since then, he has played for Arizona, Chicago, and now Edmonton. The new contract gives him security and confirms his importance to his current team. The move also fits into Edmonton's larger strategy. The Oilers continue building around stars like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Management is working to strengthen different areas of the roster while those players remain in their prime years. Improving the defense remains one of the organization's priorities. Because of that, Many people see the Murphy extension as more than a single contract signing. It is another piece of Edmonton's effort to stay competitive in the years ahead. The organization believes Murphy can help provide the defensive support needed during future playoff runs. The discussion surrounding the deal is likely to continue throughout the offseason. Some observers point to Murphy's experience, leadership, and defensive play as reasons the contract makes sense. Others focus on his age and the length of the agreement. Those conversations are common whenever a veteran player signs a long-term extension. What cannot be disputed are the facts. Connor Murphy arrived in Edmonton through a March trade with Chicago. He played 21 games for the Oilers, recorded 7 points, and earned the trust of the organization. Edmonton then committed 5 years and $20.5 million to keep him on the roster. The contract is official, the message from management is clear, and Murphy is now expected to play an important role in the Oilers' future plans.
Marty, with the Cup final now behind us, all the attention turns to pending UFAs for free agent frenzy. And how about a coach who's ready to hit the open market? Yeah. After falling just 2 wins shy of the Cup, John Tortorella is available to the highest bidder. So, Marty, should the Toronto Maple Leafs or Edmonton Oilers be ready to pounce on him?
Absolutely. I mean, look at what he did with the Vegas Golden Knights, and I get it. He came in late in the season, and he was more of a guidance counselor. That's what he said. That's his own words, right? But as long as you have the drive, as long as you have the energy, as long as you're willing to put in the hours to coach, John Tortorella is a fantastic coach. Yes, there's
Something
always
surprising
the other
is
side
happening
of
behind
things.
the scenes in the NHL. Two of hockey's biggest teams are suddenly being connected to a name that many fans never expected to hear again. The reaction has been strong, the debate is growing, and some people believe this move could change everything. But the deeper this story gets, the more shocking it becomes. The NHL offseason is already creating major headlines, and one topic is getting a lot of attention. The Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs are both being linked to veteran coach John Tortorella. For many fans, this news came out of nowhere. Tortorella has always been one of the most talked about coaches in hockey, and now his name is back in the spotlight. This discussion started after several hockey analysts and media outlets began asking an interesting question. Should the Oilers or the Maple Leafs make a move for Tortorella? At first, it sounded like just another off-season rumor. But the more people talked about it, the more serious the conversation became. Fans started debating, experts shared their opinions, and suddenly, everyone wanted to know if this could actually happen. John Tortorella is not just another coach. He is a Stanley Cup champion and one of the most experienced coaches in the NHL. Throughout his career, he has built a reputation for being tough, demanding, and honest. He expects players to work hard every night. He is known for holding players accountable and pushing teams to compete at a high level. That reputation is exactly why his name is creating so much attention. Both Edmonton and Toronto are under massive pressure. These are not rebuilding teams. These are teams that expect to compete for championships. When expectations are high and results fall short, organizations begin searching for answers. That is where Tortorella enters the conversation. Let's start with the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers have one of the most talented rosters in hockey. Connor McDavid is widely considered the best player in the world. Leon Draisaitl is also one of the league's biggest stars. Together, they give Edmonton a chance to win every season. But as great as these players are, the pressure to win a Stanley Cup continues to grow. Many people believe Edmonton cannot afford to waste any more years of McDavid's prime. Every season without a championship raises more questions. Fans want results. Management wants results. And the organization knows that opportunities like this do not last forever. That is why some analysts believe a coach like Tortorella could be appealing. That brings us to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Few teams in hockey face more pressure than Toronto. Some people believe Tortorella could provide exactly that change. They argue that Toronto needs a stronger identity and a different mindset. Tortorella's demanding approach could bring a new level of accountability to the team. Supporters believe he could challenge players in ways that help them grow and compete at a higher level. However, there are concerns about Toronto as well. The Maple Leafs already play under an intense spotlight. Every game is analyzed. Every decision is discussed. Every loss becomes a major story. Adding a coach as outspoken as Tortorella could create even more attention. Some people worry that the focus could shift from the team to the coach. Another concern is how today's players respond to coaching. Hockey has changed over the years. Many modern coaches focus on communication and relationships. Tortorella's style is often seen as more old school. Some fans believe that approach is exactly what teams need. Others believe the game has changed and different methods are more effective. This is what makes the entire debate so fascinating. There are strong arguments on both sides. Supporters see a proven coach who could bring accountability and urgency. Critics see potential conflict and risk. Both views have valid points, which is why the conversation continues to grow. When comparing the two teams, many people believe Edmonton may be the better fit. The Oilers are in a clear win-now situation. They have elite talent and a championship window that will not stay open forever. Tortorella's demanding style may match the urgency that already exists within the organization. Toronto's situation is different. The Maple Leafs also want to win now, but they face a unique level of pressure from media and fans. Some believe adding a coach like Tortorella could help. Others think it could create even more challenges. That uncertainty is one reason why opinions remain divided. No matter what happens next, one thing is clear. John Tortorella has become one of the biggest names of the NHL offseason. The fact that both the Oilers and Maple Leafs are being mentioned in connection with him shows how serious the search for answers has become. Right now, nobody knows what decision these teams will make, but the discussion alone has already captured the attention of the hockey world. Fans are debating, analysts are talking, and everyone seems to have an opinion. Whether Tortorella ends up coaching either team or not, this story is far from over. And if there is one thing hockey fans know, it is that some of the biggest off-season stories often lead to the biggest surprises. That is why all eyes remain on Edmonton, Toronto, and the coach, whose name continues to dominate the conversation. The next move could change everything. Shocking rumors have been spreading across the hockey world, and many Toronto Maple Leafs fans were left stunned. Social media exploded. Wild theories started flying, and people began wondering if something huge was happening behind the scenes. But as new information started coming out, the story became even more surprising. And what insiders are now saying could completely change how fans view the future of this franchise.
Last word, you hadn't had a chance to meet face-to-face with Austin just yet. Yeah. What's the intention there? Is there a timeline? Is there an intention to go meet with him? And what would you like to hear from him? Or what have you heard from him that's encouraging for you at this point?
Yeah, I'm encouraged. We've had a lot of great discussions, and honestly, I saw a happy captain that is very a lot of pride in being the captain of Toronto Maple Leafs.
For Toronto Maple Leafs fans, the last few weeks have been full of questions. The team once again fell short of its ultimate goal, and disappointment spread throughout the fan base. Whenever a talented team fails to meet expectations, people begin looking for answers. This time, many fans started wondering if the organization would make a huge move involving its biggest star, Austin Matthews. Matthews is not just another player. He is the captain of the Maple Leafs and one of the best goal scorers in the entire NHL. Over the years, he has become the face of the franchise. Because of that, any rumor connected to his future quickly grabs attention. As soon as discussions about major roster changes started appearing online, some fans feared that Matthews could somehow become part of a blockbuster trade. The rumors became even louder because Toronto recently entered a new chapter under general manager John Chayka. Whenever a new general manager takes control of a team, people expect changes. Fans begin asking difficult questions. Will the new GM keep the same core players? Will he start a rebuild? Will he trade a superstar to create a new direction? These questions created the perfect environment for speculation. As the rumors spread, many fans became nervous. Some believed the Maple Leafs needed a dramatic change after years of playoff frustration. Others argued that trading a player like Matthews would be a huge mistake. The debate quickly divided the fan base. Social media was filled with opinions, predictions, and emotional reactions. Every new report seemed to create even more uncertainty. This news brought relief to many fans. For years, Matthews has been one of the most dangerous offensive players in hockey. Players with his skill level are extremely difficult to replace. That is why many people around the league never believed a trade was realistic. While fans were worried about rumors, insiders were seeing a different picture. They saw a team that still wanted to win, with Matthews leading the way. The reports also gave fans a better understanding of John Chayka's possible vision for the organization. Since arriving as general manager, Chaika has been under pressure to improve a team that has struggled to turn regular season success into playoff success. Fans wanted answers, and many expected major changes. Instead of tearing everything down, the Maple Leafs seem focused on retooling the roster. Retooling means keeping the core of the team together while making adjustments in other areas. It allows a franchise to remain competitive while trying to fix the problems that have held it back. For Toronto, that can mean changes to coaching, player depth, defensive structure, or overall team strategy. The coaching situation has become another major part of the conversation. With the organization continuing its search for the right coach, many fans believe the next hire could have a huge impact on the future of the franchise. If the right coach is brought in, Toronto may believe it can finally take the next step in the playoffs. That possibility makes keeping Matthews even more important. Still, not every fan agrees. Some supporters believe years of playoff disappointment prove that bigger changes are needed. They argue that something dramatic must happen for the team to move forward. Others strongly disagree and believe Matthews gives the Maple Leafs their best chance to win a Stanley Cup. This debate will likely continue throughout the offseason. What is clear right now is that the fear surrounding an Auston Matthews trade appears to have cooled down. The latest reports suggest Toronto is not looking to move its captain. Instead, the organization seems focused on building around him and finding ways to finally break through when the games matter most. And that may be the biggest takeaway from this entire story. While fans were focused on trade rumors, the real story may have been happening behind the scenes. John Chaika could be working on a completely different plan for the Maple Leafs. The question now is whether that plan will finally bring the success Toronto fans have been waiting for.
The NHLPA has told the NHL they want to go through with an investigation into Mike Babcock before he can be hired by the Edmonton Oilers. We get the latest Wednesday from our hockey insider Pierre LeBrun. The NHL is moving ahead with its investigation on Mike Babcock and events in Columbus. Darren Dreger adds this: there's no timeline on how quickly this can be carried out. The Oilers are aware of this. Players involved, etc. in 2023 will have to be interviewed. If Babcock were to back out at this stage, a league source says there would be no reason to investigate.
Everything looked finished. The Edmonton Oilers appeared ready to make a major move that could change the future of the franchise. Then, without warning, a new development stopped everyone in their tracks. Suddenly, fans, players, and hockey insiders were all talking about the same thing. What seemed like a simple coaching search has now turned into one of the biggest NHL stories of the offseason. The Edmonton Oilers entered this offseason with one clear goal. They needed to find the right coach to help the team take the next step. After another disappointing end to their season, there was pressure on the organization to make a strong decision. For a while, it looked like the Oilers had found their answer. Reports began linking the team to veteran coach Mike Babcock, a name that hockey fans know very well. Mike Babcock has one of the most successful coaching resumes in NHL history. He won a Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings and spent many years coaching some of the league's biggest stars. His experience, leadership, and history of winning made him an attractive option for a team that wants to compete for a championship right now. For many Oilers fans, the idea made sense. The team has elite talent, and bringing in an experienced coach seemed like a logical move. But then, the story took an unexpected turn. As reports about Edmonton's interest in Babcock continued to spread, the NHL Players Association stepped into the spotlight. Instead of simply allowing the hiring process to move forward, the union reportedly called for a review of Babcock's past controversies before any final decision could be made. Suddenly, what looked like a routine coaching search became one of the biggest stories in hockey. The reason goes back to events that happened during Babcock's short time with the Columbus Blue Jackets. In 2023, concerns were raised by players regarding interactions involving personal phone photos. The situation quickly became a major topic across the league. Soon after, Babcock resigned from his position before coaching a regular season game for Columbus. Even though several years have passed, that controversy has never completely disappeared. The Oilers are not a team that can afford to waste time. They have two of the best players in the world, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Every season that ends without a Stanley Cup creates more pressure on the organization. Fans want results, management wants results, and most importantly, the players want results. That is why this coaching search matters so much. When a team is trying to win a championship, every decision is important. the head coach sets the culture, manages the locker room, and helps guide the team through difficult moments.